Hello, and welcome to me playing through some of the two Game Boy Colin McRae Rally games. Today up first we have Colin McRae Rally 1 on the Game Boy Color. It's kind of interesting, I think. It's got a top-down perspective rather than your normal perspective, which is kind of neat. We're going to go with the Subaru 22B in New Zealand, because I think that's all I can, with the difficulty on medium for this one. And we'll see how it goes. I haven't played this much. I just basically got it working, and I kind of wanted to look at it. The audio's not great, but you can still kind of hear Nicky Grist calling the pace notes. It is sometimes hard to keep on the road if you go in like a fast section to straight into a slower section again. But everything does sound crisp enough, which is good for a Game Boy Color game, honestly. As I've made a huge mistake. Oh dear. But it does give good variety, I find, between the stages. The cars look okay for what they are. And it's a fun enough game for what it is. I am playing on a 360 controller, so it's obviously not the same as, or not 360, sorry, I'm on an Xbox One controller. But as you play it, you kind of do feel a little bit more comfortable with the game. And I do see how it would have been kind of enjoyable at the time. I am not good about just sending it into corners, though, admittedly. But it does feel weird. It does feel like you have oversteer all the time, or understeer. It never perfectly steers how you want it to, but it's not an analog stick, so that's understandable. And it is emulated, so that can sometimes throw things off. Oh dear, I've hit something. Yeah, the Game Boy Color was not like the most powerful console ever, as we finished 4th there. It's not the most powerful console ever, but that's okay. So that would put us 4th in this rally. Not bad. There is 8 drivers, so that's bang up the middle. We'll click to main menu. I don't think there's much of anything else. There's the time trial mode, which is just single stage rallies, normal one-off rallies, and then the championship. And you pretty much just have these cars. You can unlock some different ones. You got the Ford Escort, Volkswagen Golf, Audi Quattro, all pretty standard for racing games of the time. And that's about it. It's a pretty bare bones game. The top-down perspective is a little weird to get used to, but once you do, I find it's not bad. So I thought it would just be interesting to look at this one. Now up next, we've got Colin McRae Rally 2.0 for the Game Boy Advance. So obviously a little bit more power, a little bit better graphically. You do have a few things. You got the credits, the options, and then arcade and rally mode, single pack link, which is okay, not for what I'm doing now. Let's do a single stage. You do have all of your little options here. We'll go intermediate again, 1 player. The cars here, it's a little bit less. Ford Focus, Mitsubishi Lancer, Toyota Corolla, Subaru Impreza, and the Ford Puma, which we didn't get here in Canada, so I always thought it was cool. But anyways, we'll go with the Corolla. I found manual to just be undrivable in this game, in the little bit I've played. So we'll go with automatic. A little bit more of a in-depth with the tires and the gearboxes and things. So that's kind of fun that you have a bit more in-depth. So we'll go for a race. So obviously Nicky Grist sounds a little bit better here. However, it doesn't change the fact I'm mid. At this game, it terribly feels the handling. The handling of the game does make it kind of harder to play, obviously, as it tends to do. Not the worst game I've ever played, racing-wise. I've played some pretty particularly awful games. As we got up to 15th there before we admittedly screwed up. So if Nicky Grist is calling our pace notes, who is calling Colin McRae's? Obviously Derek Ringer, even though not at this point. Up to 7th, even though I spun. This game does not make sense. Handling wise, it's a little bit easier to understand than the Game Boy Color game, which is to be understood. It's not top down. It's from Chase Cam. Racing games on the Game Boy are often not great. There are some good ones that aren't just Mario Kart, but that's really the only main one. So anyways, we got 3rd there somehow, even though I spun. Crazy. And it gives you a little replay. I didn't know this existed. That's actually sick. I mean, it's really basic, but that's actually sick. And then also you have these arcade races, which are just rallycross, I believe. Well, we'll pick a different car. We'll go with the Lancer, really balance it out. And we'll go to Kenya. That's something different. They're basically like glorified super specials. I don't know if there's more to unlock. I haven't played this enough. I think you just race against identical cars to make it even, from what I've understood. There's no pace notes in this though. It's just rallycross. Why is Nicky Grist in the passenger seat? What's the point? Graphically, for what it is, I actually kind of dig it. I do like this sort of pixelated style. Obviously, I wish it was kind of more 3D, or even just a little bit better. Great commentary, I know. I wish it was better, but it's not bad. It's pretty playable, objectively. I found the asphalt really hard though. It was too grippy. As we're gonna get past, okay, we do not race against the same cars. Crazy. This is a long lap. I will probably only do the 1 lap, because I ain't doing all that. I think it's one of those games where you have to kind of memorize the races more than anything else, which is fine. It's a Game Boy game. What are you expecting here? So anyways, that is a lap there, as we've spun somebody out. Anyhow, if you've made it this far, thanks for checking these games out with me. I appreciate it. And we'll see you hopefully for a video that's a little bit better next time.